Hello students. In our last topic we learned about cells. We learned that all living organisms are made up of cells. Now in unicellular organisms, a single cell will perform all the basic functions. For example, if you take paramecium or amoeba, every life processes in paramecium or amoeba is carried out by a single cell. But what about multicellular organisms? Because they are made up of millions of cells. Now these cells in multicellular organisms are specialized. They are specialized to carry few functions. And each specialized function is taken by a different group of cells. What does it mean? It means that a particular function is carried out by a cluster of cells at a definite place in the body. And this cluster of cell is called a tissue. So you guessed it right. Our today's topic is all about tissues. We know that the study of tissues is called histology. So the cells make up tissues and we know that different types of tissues are responsible for making an organ. An organ system is consist different types of organs. And different organ systems together make up an organisms. So, can you now say the utility of tissues in multicellular organisms? Yes, you guessed it right. Due to the division of labor, possible due to the grouping of cells, it gives highest possible efficiency to function in a multicellular organism. So we can define tissue as a collection of cells which have similar structure and perform relatively common functions. Now tell me, do you think a plant tissue and an animal tissue will be similar to each other? You are right. They will not be similar. Why? We know that the structural organization of organs and organ system is specialized in complex animals. Even if we compare with complex plants, animals are much more organized in their body forms. Another difference between plants and animals is based on the feeding methods. The plants are autotrophic while animals cannot prepare their own food. Therefore, the tissues will also be specialized for those purposes. And one major difference is that we know that plants have sedentary existence while animals have active locomotion. So the tissues are also meant for the same purposes. Let's see the difference between plant and animal tissues. We know that plants do not move. Therefore, their tissues will basically be the ones that will provide support to them so that they can stand erect. Animals need more energy. Why? Because they are not stationary like plants. So their tissues should be such that can support movement. The next important difference is the plant tissues are made up of dead cells. Why? Because these dead cells will provide mechanical strength to the plants. And the plants also do not require much maintenance. Whereas the tissues in animals are made up of living cells so that they can move and perform various functions. Third difference is that in plants there are only certain plant parts which needs to grow. Therefore, the tissues present in such region will divide themselves and form new tissues. Whereas in animals, we all know that the cells grow uniformly. Okay, not in some parts they will be growing more than the other. They grow uniformly and also in certain regions of the body. The fourth difference is that the structure of the plant tissue is not very much specialized when we compare them to the animal tissues. Now let's learn about the types of tissues in plants. The types of tissues in plants can be broadly categorized as the meristematic tissue and the permanent tissue. As we know that the growth in plants occur only in certain regions, those growing regions of the plant will carry the meristematic tissue. And these meristematic tissues will divide actively through the process of mitosis to form new cells. Initially, these new cells will be exactly like the meristems, but later on they grow and mature, and then they become specialized for doing specific jobs. And when they get differentiated to do certain different roles, they form the permanent tissues of the plant. These meristematic tissues have dense nucleus and cytoplasm, but they lack vacuole. Can you guess why there will be no vacuole present in such meristematic cells? Please think about it and we will discuss it when we will have the Google Meet. So the next type of tissue is the permanent tissue. Now, as I told you that the meristematic cells later on get differentiated and get specialized to do a particular job, they become permanent tissues. So this is the permanent tissue, and the process by which the cells of meristematic tissue convert into a permanent tissue and take up a fixed shape, size and function is called differentiation. Now let us learn in detail about meristematic tissues. Since we know that the growth of plant occurs only in certain specific regions, therefore only in these growing regions of the plant the meristematic tissues will be present. Based on their location, the meristematic tissues are called apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. Now let us learn in detail about the three types of meristem. As the name suggests, the apical meristem will be of two types, the shoot apical meristem and the root apical meristem, and these will be present on the tips of stem and roots, and they will increase the length in these tips. The intercalary meristem will be present between the tip and the base of stems and leaves, and its function will be to increase the growth between the nodes. Lateral meristem is present at the sides of stem and roots, and it will increase the diameter of the stem, also called as the girth. So let's see what will be your class task today. First, you all please read the introductory part of the chapter tissue. After reading it, make a T-chart showing the difference between animal tissue and plant tissue. After that, read the topic meristematic tissue from the textbook and draw the location of meristematic tissue in plants and label it. After doing that, please make a table like this and write down the three types of meristematic tissue, what is their location and their function.